Good morning, students. Myself, Dr. Eustace Russell, working as an assistant professor at Sri Muthukumaran Institute of Technology, the Department of Mechatronics Engineering. Today we are going to discuss about the subject called Engineering Mechanics. It is coming for the Department of Robotics and Automation, coming under the semester of second semester, that is even semester, under the regulation of 2025. In this slide, we are going to see the Unit 1 topics, and under that, the few topics also we will discuss one by one, the important few topics. Now we will see one by one. First, we will see about the Unit 1 title name called as Statics of Particles. Before that, I want to tell about what is engineering mechanics. Engineering mechanics is nothing but a branch of science that deals with the behavior of physical bodies when subjected to forces or displacement. That is nothing but we have to study the behavior of physical bodies. Whenever the forces we are applying, what are the changes that is happening in the physical bodies that you are going to study in this subject called engineering mechanics. Now in this side we have mentioned about the types of engineering mechanics, that is statics and dynamics. One is called, again the dynamics is divided into kinetics and kinematics. Now we will see one by one the various types of that also. Statics is nothing but the branch which deals with the force and their effects on an object or a body at rest. So under the body at rest, we are going to study the effects of on an object whenever the force is applied. So that is under rest. That is one important point. The body should be under rest. Dynamics is vice versa. That is deals with the forces and their effect on the bodies which are under motion. That is whenever the body is under motion, we have to consider the forces. What forces we are applying whenever the body under motion, for that termed as dynamics. Statics means under rest condition. Now dynamics is, as I already told in previous slide, dynamics is again divided into kinetics and kinematics. Now what is kinetics? Kinetics is defined as a branch of dynamics which deals with the body's motion due to the application of forces. We have to consider the forces, that is called kinetics. Kinematics means without considering the forces that is responsible for the movement of that body. Here this is the definition. It is defined as a branch of dynamics which deals with the bodies that are under motion without knowing the reference of forces responsible for the motion in the body. This slide gives a glimpse about the various units. For this subject, the students must know about the various SI units. For that, without unit, we can't solve any problems. So every value magnitude have a unit at all. If you are going for a shop, if you are buying any cloth, you will tell how much meters you want. If you are going for purchase for any water can, you will ask for how many liters of water you need. So nowadays in the day-to-day life, this unit is very, very important. Without that unit, we can't resolve any problems. So in this slide, give a glimpse about the various SI units. Already in your school days, you might have studied these various units in physics. Time seconds, length meter, mass kg, that is kilogram, electric current, that is ampere. So these are the various units we are using mostly in engineering mechanics, especially mostly mass kilogram, length meter, force should be in Newton. That is very, very important. So what is the formula of force according to the Newton's law? Mass into acceleration. That is, unit is kg meter per second square. The unit of mass will be kg and acceleration will be meter per second square. So whenever You have to convert kg into Newton. What you have to do means you have to multiply simply with acceleration, that is meter per second square, in order to convert kg into Newton. That's all. So when you are going to convert Newton into kg, what you will do? Just divide it by acceleration, that is meter per second square. That is, while solving the problems, you will do how to convert kg into Newton. Most of the problem they will give in Newton only. Sometimes if they are giving in kilogram, you have to convert into kg. If it is given in kg, it is compulsory to convert into Newton. If it is given in Newton, there is no problem. We can proceed with that problem as Newton, whatever it is given in the question. Now we will see what is the necessity of the force. Why force is needed? To move a stationary object, whenever they are under the body at rest, if you want to move, what you will do? You have to apply some forces on it, right? Then only we can see some movement about that object. If you want to change the direction of the motion, what you will do? At the particular direction, you will divert the object, then it will move at the right path. That is to change the magnitude of the velocity of the motion of an object. To change the shape of the object also. If you want to change the shape, some force if you are applying, what you will have? Some deformation will happen to change the shape of an object. So what is the characteristic of force? This everybody will know: direction, magnitude, the point on which it acts. That is important. Then line of action. Here some of the line sketch of that various application it is mentioned over here. Some tension load it is applied in the string. Then some of the weight is added over a slope. The body that is revolving have a impedance over the slope. Then the third sketch is the reaction of a beam as a point load that is acted at the center point of the beam, and the reaction at the two ends, that is point A and point B. Now, system of forces. What is the system of forces means? Basically, it is converted into two important types: coplanar and non-coplanar. What is coplanar? The forces that are acting in single plane is called coplanar, and non-coplanar, the forces will not act in one single plane, that is called non-coplanar. Collinear, the forces that is act in a straight line path, that is called collinear, and it should be parallel one. The forces, if it's opposite means, then we can tell it is a non-collinear one. Then concurrent, the forces intersect at a common point. The forces intersect at a common point. So it is non-concurrent means the forces will not act at a common point. What is concurrent means the forces should have to act at a particular point, then it will be called as concurrent. Then like, unlike, as I already told, collinear means the forces will act in a straight line path, that is called like collinear forces. What is unlike means another one force will act in the opposite direction whatever the force we have applied, then it is called as unlike collinear. Same thing we can repeat for non-coplanar. This I have told for plane, the forces which are acting in a single plane. If it is in a different plane means the same condition will be applicable for non-coplanar also. Now, before that I want to tell about what is equilibrium. The body is said to be in a state of equilibrium if the body is either at rest or moving at a constant velocity. Then only we can tell it is under equilibrium. There should not be any variation. It should have a constant velocity. If it is a moving particle means it will move in a constant velocity. Otherwise, it is under rest. Now, what is the equilibrium force? All the resultant should be at zero. Then only it is called as equilibrium force. The set of forces where the resultant is zero is called equilibrium force. Then what is the condition? Everybody aware of this formula: resultant force, which is equal to summation of horizontal forces, square of the summation of horizontal forces, and the square of vertical forces. the both will be added and taking a square root will give a resultant force. Then the right hand side of that we can see one small problem. We can see one basic problem, how to implement the equilibrium condition type of problem in this. One physical condition of the problem is showing in the sketch in the right hand side. One truck that is shown in the middle of the diagram. The two persons are pulling the load and it is tied with a pulley. The rope is going over the pulley and the two men that is keep on holding the rope or string, whatever it is. Now it is a free body diagram we have shown in the extreme right hand side. What is 736? The load which is carried by the two men, that is 736 Newton. What is TAC? The tension that is acting in the rope, that is TAC. What is TAB? Tension that is acting in TAB. So in this, another one problem, system of four forces acting on a body as shown in figure, determine the resultant force and direction. In this type of problem, mostly they won't give any angle. Instead of angle, they will give simply a right angle in all the line, that is a slope. What they will give means opposite side and adjacent side is given in all the lines. We have to find the angle first, then proceed with the problem to resolve the forces as horizontal and vertical forces. Here, this is the procedure. What they have done means, first we can see in solution, inclination of the force 200 Newton with the x-axis, that is tan inverse of 1 by 2. Why it is 1 by 2? Opposite side is 1. What is adjacent side? It is 2. Finally, you will get 26.56. Similarly, for tan inverse, for 120 Newton, it is tan inverse of 4 by 3. 4 by 3. We can get 53.13. Then after finding all the angles, we have to resolve the forces acting along the x-axis. The forces acting in the x-axis, the forces that is traveling in the right hand side you have to take as positive, and towards the left hand side you have to take as negative. Finally, you will get 200 cos 26.56 degree is a positive value. Why it is minus means it is passing towards left hand side. So it is minus. Similarly, for 50 Newton also it is minus. Then for 100 it is positive because it is passing towards right hand side. That's why it is positive. Finally, you will get the answer 146.17 Newton. Similarly, we have to resolve all the forces along y-axis also. Similarly, the same thing along vertical forces means what you have to consider means the forces which is acting in upward direction means it is always called positive. The forces acting in the downward direction will be termed as negative sign. The same concept will be implemented here. Upward force, what are the upward force means 200 sine 26.56 is a positive value because the force is acting in upward direction. Similarly, 120 also the same thing is upward direction. What about 50 means it is acting in a downward direction. That's why minus 50 sine 60 degree. Then 100 Newton also which is acting in a downward direction, minus 100 sine 40. Then finally, as I already told, the resultant force, how to calculate means square root of sigma h square plus sigma v square. Finally, you will get 160.18 Newton. Similarly, finding the direction of the resultant force. What is the formula means? Sigma v by sigma h. You will get taking a tan inverse 24.14 degree you will get. And finally, you have to conclude with the answers also, what I have shown in the slide. Then Lami's theorem. Lami's theorem is applicable only for three forces. That should be a congruent one and coplanar. Coplanar, what I already told means the forces acting in a single plane. Congruent, all the forces will act at one common point. Then it is a non-collinear. The forces will not act in only the same direction. It will be act in different directions. That's why it is non-collinear. acting in a body should be under equilibrium. That is one important condition. Then each force is proportional to the sine of angle between the other two forces. In this we can see, if you are taking A force A, opposite, what is the angle of opposite to the A? Alpha. We have to take sine alpha. Then what is B? Just opposite means beta. You have to take sine of the, that is, the definition is clearly telling each force is proportional to the sine of the angle between the other two forces. That's the formula. Then C by sine gamma. It is only applicable for three forces only. More than that forces we can't go with this Lami's theorem. We have to go for the resolution of forces, what I already solved in the previous problem. Okay, this is one important and the easiest problem we have chosen for concept of Lami's theorem concept. One line sketch it is given. Kindly go through the line sketch, students. It is given as 4 to 3, one slope line it is given, and under that 30 degree, one rope that is fixed to the one fixed point, and it is hanging on weight of 100 kg. As I already told in the first few slides, how to convert in the unit section, I have clearly told why it is needed to convert a kilogram to Newton. What you have to do means multiply with 9.81 meter per second square. You will get Newton. Then final answer is 53.13. Then in this type of problem, we have to consider the joint only. For example, in this problem, only one joint it is clearly given, that is joint C. Joint C, it is 30 degree, one force is there. Then what is the vertical force? 981 Newton, because we have converted that 100 kg into Newton, that's why it is 981 Newton. Then another one tension in the rope is TAC. Finally, adding all the angle, that is 53.13 plus 90. We have to add the angle between the two forces. Then these two, TBC, to that force, you have to take the angle, that is 30 plus 90. Again 90 minus 53.1 degree, 13 degree, we will get 156. Just you have to add it. In between the two forces, you have to find the angle. Then apply the Lami's theorem. This is the relationship you are getting. And finally, based on two relationship, we can relate 1 and 2 as well as 1 and 3. We can get the values. That is 2162 Newton. That is TAC, and TBC is 1438 Newton. These are the answers. Now, why we are studying this course? I want to tell about what are the various applications, because the student must know why we are studying this course. Because this application, the engineering mechanics has a wide application. Without it's a basic course, especially mechanical students, civil students, mechatronics students, robotics and automation, everybody, all the other departments, even the aeronautical, these students must know this subject, because this is a basic concept. Because everywhere you have to consider the force. If you want to design any product, the force should be considered. The day-to-day life, we have to consider these important things. That's why here it is clearly mentioned: structural engineering, mechanical engineering, aerospace engineering, and other application are also. Nowadays, nanotechnology also, we are implementing this engineering mechanics. Is very, very important as a broad application across various fields. As I already told, it is including civil, mechanical, aerospace and biomedical engineering also. Then for construction work also, this is very important, as building construction, bridges, as automobile is a motion of vehicles. In this concept will be implemented. Then understanding of the behavior of the materials under this, that is the mechanics students, they will study in strength of materials also, as well as mechanics of materials. This mechanics is a basic concept. Without knowing this subject, they will feel very difficult in upcoming semesters to, especially in the problematic papers. This basic concept, if you are studying, then subject will be very easy. So thank you very much, all of you, for your kind attention. In this slide, we have seen few topics in Unit 1. In upcoming slides, we will meet with another topics of this same Unit 1. So I welcome you all. I hope this video will be very useful for you people. Kindly go through it and solve the related problem. whatever we solved in the slide. Okay, students, thank you all.